Yeah. Okay. Hi there. It's Joycelyn Wells from mySHAPE Solutions. And today I'm hanging out with Denee Adams. She's a small business owner and glow getter. And she's going to spend some time with me talking about her desires and her passions, her dreams, and her path to being great. So, welcome, Denee. How are you today?
I am good. Thank you for having me, Miss Joy. It's a joy to be here.
Yeah. It's so funny because I always say Joycelyn, and people have gotten so used to calling me Joy that they're like, Joy. And I'm like, I'm at work. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. So welcome. You want to share, you can share this stream on your socials if you want to. I'll give you a few seconds to do that if you want.
Yeah, so this is brand new to me, this stream.
If you go to my page, Joycelyn Wells, it's streaming there, and you can just share it to yours from there.
Okay.
If you want to. And that's fine. And it's also streaming on YouTube. And for those of you who are watching this stream, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, subscribe to YouTube. Make your presence known. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, so let me know when you're done and we'll get started with our interview, or girl talk.
I'm going to joycelynwells.com.
Yep, you can go to joycelynwells.com, or you can go to my Joycelyn Wells Facebook page and share it to your Facebook if you want to do it that way.
Oh, okay, wait.
So for those of you joining us, thank you. And this time we're sharing to all of our socials because that's important. That's where our people are. They know where to look for us. And Denee is going to do that. And then we're going to delve into her location in Texas and see how much she shares about Texas.
Not this part of Texas. Nobody is coming here. Nobody is visiting here.
They say everything's bigger in Texas.
Well, yeah. Okay, so it says watch live. Okay, there we go. Share.
Yeah, so they say that. I don't know, but they say everything's bigger in Texas.
You know, some things I just haven't experienced yet. And you know that dilemma. I talk about that at least once and share with y'all.
That's too funny. Okay. So before we logged on, I was sitting there like, I know she's not a brand ambassador, but I know she's like a kick-ass branding something. How would you describe yourself when it comes to branding? Because that's what sticks out.
I am a brand, but what I think, and I've gained it from my grandmother and great-grandmother in terms of like networking and helping and sharing people. So I find myself being a brand ambassador for just about everything that I use and the people that I interact with and people that I'm close with. Because I'm like, you know, if I'm coming here with a face full of makeup and skincare, I need to talk about that person, you know, because people ask and want to know. So I feel like, what can I lose by sharing it? I want to share it with everybody. Right. So I find myself in being a brand ambassador for a lot of different brands beside myself.
Okay. So, and that makes a lot of sense because when I see you and from the relationship we've established over with social media and just watching you, I always say that women are growing. Just watching you grow as a woman, the one thing I think about is that you are your own thing, and that's powerful, right? Yeah. So, but to hear you say that, I am a brand, and the brands I use, I rep those too. Just goes to show the type of person that you are, because you're not trying to keep it to yourself.
No, like, you know, as you know, I'm branching into cosmetic care and learning. I'm learning. So I feel like as I'm expanding and my brand and learning things, then it's the people that I'm using and that I've learned from that I want to share with too, because I didn't come drop in and learn lip gloss and lipstick. I've been following other brands, seeing, you know, their techniques, what they're using, their content and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I didn't just start from the ground up and hey,
you showed up.
Yeah.
So So with that being said, I think a lot of times women, especially the younger women, and I had this my whole life. I have all of these ideas and I don't know what to do with them. How do you advise people, young women, men, it doesn't matter. What do you advise them to do with all the ideas? Because clearly you have a multitude of ideas and you're not afraid.
Well, that's the thing for me. It's a blessing and a curse because I get overwhelmed with so many different ideas and I feel like a unicorn. I want to do everything right now, from selling ice cream to being the ice cream maker. I mean, just some of everything. And so what I do is I journal more now than ever. I journal, make notes. And I'll be up late at night and I'm watching a commercial and it'll give me a whole nother idea of something else. Like, I want to trademark wine. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Like, how are you going from lipstick? You're going to wear off the lipstick when you're drinking the wine. So think of, stuff like that. But I would say go for it. I am a go-getter. Like, I'm going to try. If I fail, say I failed. But I feel like at my age, I have experienced and tried and failed at so many things that people are just getting started. And I have no regrets because I've learned from everything that I've done. Right. So I feel like as I branch and go into each thing, I have knowledge from the last time, what I did wrong, what I did right, and bring that over. And with me, again, it goes back to everything that I've learned. I want to be able to share that because I don't want to see anybody young, old, and new, those experiences. So I try to do my best, which is one of the reasons I established our social group, is to bring women together because you have your business, you have your platform. There are experiences and things that you can teach me, teach the others. As you know, like we've been discussing credit, doing travel, just a whole bunch of different things that I feel like sitting at home. And if you don't have somebody to kind of encourage you, motivate you, or push you, you won't do it. Because some of these women, as you know, that are traveling with us are just now getting their first passport. Wow. So I feel like, if I do nothing else, that is something that I've done and establish for somebody to take that chance, make that, make that trip. Yeah. So that makes me feel really good at the end of the day.
I think that goes a lot to say how much we trust you. Like when you talking about somebody getting their first passport, it's kind of like indisly from Meg the Stallion. you put yourself out there. Like you're like, I'm here. And I think that allows a lot of us to trust you. And that goes to say with people getting their first passport and planning to leave the country based on plans that you made, how you influence the brand influencer that you are, right? And I think that's amazing. So I'll say personally, thank you for doing that. Thank you for being who you are.
Thank you. And I feel like, I don't do it enough as much as I could and should, is being more transparent in our social group. Because as you know, I'll talk about the ups, the downs, the bad, the good. And I want that because it's the truth. Yeah. So I don't live a glamorous life. It's not all stars and, so I come to you guys sometime and I'm like, hey, look what I'm dealing with. Help. And I want that from everybody else. I want to feel like that's a safe haven because I know we all go through things. Right. And, especially during this time of dealing with COVID, our family, loss of job, loss of wages, just some of everything. And that was the other thing, that we did within the group was to kind of campaign and help each other out. And that's the type of fellowship and sisterhood that I want to carry on and want to be remembered,
Right.
for.
I know that when we became connected, it was a social media group, a Facebook group. And then there were some issues. I don't know what they were necessarily, but I remember you just kind of taking the helm of starting a group, just like moving this group to a different place. And I appreciated that. And I felt connected to the old group, but the energy of the new group pulled me to that. Like you got to go there because there's the goodness in that, right? So I like how you did that. And you brought so many people together, like more than 5,000 people.
Yeah, well, see, what a lot of people don't know is back in 2014, I trademarked the name Gold Diggers.
Okay.
And it was an apparel brand. And I did some networking with other brands and featured in movies. I was with Viacom, Love and Hip Hop, and spearheaded that with Humble Hustler. There were two logos that I was using for apparel. Mm-hmm. And so with that trademark, I began a relationship that came from another social group that was leaving that social group. And we came together with, okay, well, this is already established. It has logo, it has it's trademark. I've done some things with it already. So let's just do this together. Right. And we did it together. And you see how, things were, I mean, and there's some great things that came out of it. Great friendships, great relationships. There are families now from that. So, and that is one of those things I don't regret. But with leaving that, when I left, well, I'm still a part of it, but just a visitor. Right. But I felt like, I know I took part in building this relationship with all these people, especially the women. And I knew that women are the most social. We are the ones that will come together. We are the ones that travel. I'm like, okay. Well, my experience in the last 4 years, when we travel, I see who travels.
Women show up.
We're going to keep it going. And that's, basically what I did. And I felt, when I say I cried, and I think I shared that with you guys, because I didn't expect it to be the type of response that it was. So the first thing that I did was, do the announce the Cabo trip. And then when all the reservations and the people started coming, I'm like, wow, I like 3 or 4 people, not 35.
Yeah, I remember. I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw, make your reservation for $25. Like, if you reserve now, you can make it for $25 and then the rest will be laid out. And I think I was the first person to respond to it. Yes. I woke up, I sent my $25, I went back to sleep. Like, I didn't even think about the dates or anything, because it didn't matter. I already trusted the source. I already knew. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, because the thing was, even in the other group, the itinerary and things, that was me. And that's something that I had to do. Yeah. So, building what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, what time we're going to do it, that was all a part of me. I was on the front line, but kind of in the back of it all. Like, if you knew me, you knew. So I felt like this was a highlight in time for me to show truly my greatness and who I am, and share that with everybody. And let's do this, whatever, our credit, get that right before we go. Let's get our money together. Let's save, let's go. And that was the other thing with the trip, is that I didn't know how we were going to put it together. So I was like, okay, let's put this on a payment plan so it could be feasible for everybody. Because I'm like, when I even thought, like I said, I'll think of something, and I'm like, oh shit, well, wait a minute, I didn't expect 35 people. Where am I put all these people?
Yeah.
So I went from 1 villa to 2 villas. Well, should I get 3 villas? Yeah. It was an amazing outcome. Of course, as you know, COVID hit and just shut us all the way down. So we're still
waiting. And we're still waiting. That's the thing.
And it's so scary because it's literally 6 months away.
And so quick. And that's fine. For me, it's fine. So it could be August of 2021 or August of 2022. I'm here for it. I mean, that's the level of respect I have for the offering. It's like, okay, it's COVID. I ain't got no problem with that. Like, we just wait.
Yeah. And I really appreciate that. And that was something as it got closer and closer. And that's why I got with you guys. Cause I'm like, I don't want to tell them we can't go, but shit, we can't go. So, and all you guys just came in line, and I appreciate that so much, because you guys just came in line and was like, yeah, we'll wait. We'll do it today. I was like, those are my sisters. Yes. I love
it. And that's true. And I think a lot, because I'm 51 and I'm a grandmother, and I know you just became a grandmother in the past year or so. So
on February 8th.
2?
Yes. Yes, time is flying.
Yep. So your grandmother, so I think a lot of times women need to see that powerful woman. And so you talk about starting a social group with your male companion and then leaving or separating from it. Women need to see women continuing and not losing themselves. And I think that's what you've done. And you ducked into the shadows for your healing time, which we need. But then you're just like, hey, I got a new brand. I got a new thing I'm starting. Y'all come with me. And we were all like, okay.
And it all came together because it's like, okay, nobody is going to stop my shine. So come on, let's go.
Yeah. I love that.
And 2 years too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really great, really great. And you know, like I was saying earlier, is like I've kind of not stepped away, but obviously with building my brand and adding products and things like that, I'm not in our group as often and as frequently as I need to be. Mm-hmm. But that's something that I definitely want to get back into.
Right.
As you know, like as we both share on our sites, cross-marketing our sisters to make sure that people are in the know of what they're carrying, their products.
Yep.
And like I said, I don't care if it's the same thing. Yep. You're my sister, and you know, you might have a different color, shade, brand, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And I think I think for me, because I never consider owning my own business. I've always worked for someone else. And then I started writing, and then I published books, and then I started publishing for other people. And then I started doing all of these different things. And it's like, wait a minute. But to have that understanding that you're greater than what you see. And I feel like you've always seen that, like watching you even in the groups, like your ideas, putting them together. I feel like you've already seen that. And I was just, for me, it was like, how does she know?
You know, and what the crazy thing is, like I can't even remember who I was telling, is that since I've moved to Texas, my grandmother and my great grandmother, their spirits have been coming to me so frequently and so often and speaking to me and telling me and kind of pushing me to do different things. And like I said, I was blessed to have an opportunity to live with them, like part of my 7th and 8th grade year. So I was going to church and writing programs for my great grandmother, for her, yes, and doing plays and things with her. So I learned that, and what I didn't know, they helped me and guided me through. So I feel like I was blessed to have that opportunity. That is what I'm using right now today. Mm-hmm. And, I have a corporate background of corporate training and learning design. So it kind of all comes together. Yeah.
Do you think that
and before I forget, and shout out to my previous manager there. She was VP now. But she was my mentor, another Black woman that helped me. She put me back in school. Wow. Put me through classes, courses, everything that I needed to learn to do what I'm doing now. So it was great. At that time, I was working with Wells Fargo. So my manager and her manager were Black women. So I couldn't.
And so you can see that explains a lot, because you show that in your day. You want people to move on. You're not one of the women that's competing with another woman. You're not competing. You're like, hey, sister, you need to grow too. This will help you grow. You're very vocal about those things. Try this skincare, try this. You're very vocal about those things. Yeah. And that's good. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, because I'll come on and tell you guys like, oh wait, ooh, no, I'm, this turned me black and blue. Not working. At the same time, I got real transparent. I'm like, look at my booty, the cellulite is leaving.
Yes, you were talking. Yep, you sure did. So when I was going to say this, when you talked about living in Texas, so I moved from Atlanta to Lakeland, Florida for whatever reasons. But moving here to Lakeland gave me access to the quiet, the noise, the external things. And it seems like you moving to wherever you are in Texas and providing the avenue for your grandmother to come to you quieted some of the noise for you too. Do you feel that?
Absolutely. And that was even back home. I'm from California. So even back home, when I like bought my townhouse, I moved away at least an hour away from where I'm from, because I moved to Benicia, which is a military, old California military base, and just retirement, retiree people. And my daughter hated it, but it was a place that was quiet, serene, and had beautiful water and just peace. And, so I learned to do that. And so when I made this move to Texas, a crazy kind of way how I found this small town is, when I was living in New Orleans. So when I left New Orleans, I left with only my 2 suitcases.
Woo.
Yeah.
We have to share those stories. I got a story. I got a story.
I left with only, and I went to California because my daughter I went for her maternity leave, left work, everything, just, when your kids call, you got to do what you got to do. Absolutely. And I felt that was my breaking point, where it was a great opportunity to get what I was in and, go be with my family. And it did. It just opened up so much more. And I say all that to say, I just started part-time in the driving Lyft. And it was making, in California is good, great money. Yeah. So I was like, okay, when I get to Texas, the crazy thing is, Joy, before I moved to Atlanta, my original plan was to move to Texas. And that was like 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So I am just now getting to, to what I had originally planned. And so when I got here, I have family here, and more so in Houston. And I started driving, and I found that where I am now in a college town, there was so much more to drive, to make more money driving, and in such short distances to make just as much money as I would. And so as I started just coming up on the weekends. Right. And then when the semester was over, it was so quiet and it's just so peaceful. And the crazy thing is, some of the kids, I had like frequent riders, and some kids, they couldn't finish their lease because they were leaving and they had 3 months left. I was in a big 5-bedroom house because they were sharing. 3 months for $100. So I was like, okay, let me. Yes, it was beautiful. I mean, it was empty. It was a shell, but it was still nice. And so I was like, this is where, it's quiet, it's peaceful, kind of going back to being in Benicia. I was like, this is what I need. I know I could drive to Houston and be with my family and can turn up, but I can bring my ass right back home and turn all the way down. Turn up. And I did that completely, just completely shut down from pretty much everything for a good 6 months. And then I started missing people, family and friends. And so I kind of got back vibrant to social media. And that's, when I brought our group together. And so, but then it was like, I started therapy, beginning my healing, and going through some, past traumas in my childhood that connected to what has transpired and got me into some of the experiences that I've had today. And so it's been an amazing journey, just the last 2 years, just getting better in touch with myself and my children. And, because I'm not the best parent. And, I had my children very young at 17 and 19.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we kind of grew up together. And so now with my granddaughter, this is like a grand opportunity to just do it. Obviously she's not mine, but to have that opportunity to love on and have enough, to have her is just, it's been great.
And also to show your kids that I am human and I am capable of love, and I see you and I appreciate you. And that's the thing I think we struggle as parents, because we can be reflective on the type of parent that we were. But at the time that we felt like we were doing the best that we could. Right? It's kind of like, I know in this adult mind, I could have been better, but in the mind that I was doing my best. And it teaches our kids to respect us and to see us as people and not some superhuman, right? So I definitely get you on
Yeah,
that.
and that's one of the things, and I'm sure I'll be coming to you, is that I want to write a book, my memoir.
Right.
Because I started off as a motherless child. I didn't have my
Mm-hmm.
mother. So it was like, how do you have maternal skills to be a great mom when you've never experienced that? Now, don't get me wrong, my dad has been a phenomenal parent. He raised 2 daughters, so you can imagine what that was for him. But, I couldn't expect, and, the maternal things, the motherly things, he just didn't have that. And he kind of built me hard, and he protected
I can imagine.
and he protected me.
What you want to do? What? We're finna fight or what?
Yes. And like I said, in part of my healing, what was crazy about what I learned is my dad was a protector, but he was stern and strict in protecting me. Yeah. And it wasn't that he didn't trust me. He didn't trust the outside world. He definitely didn't trust boys and men with me. So what I learned from that is that he would challenge me, question me, well, who's going to the movies and how many people are going and where he was on me, and then would show up sometimes. So that came into, fast forward into my relationship, is that somebody that was kind of controlling and trying, in this case of obviously was insecurity, but it connected because that's what my dad always did.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me now. Of course, from my dad, it was coming from love. Yeah. But you get with someone with narcissistic behavior, and it's a whole different thing.
And their intention is to make ill use of you. And that's one of the things I talk about all the time, is like, it doesn't matter if somebody's trying to make ill use of you, you can set a boundary. Like, let me tell you how much I appreciate boundaries. When I asked you about 11:30 a.m. for the interview today, and you said, no, what about 3?
And I laughed. I was like, I don't get up in the morning.
But here's the thing, I respect that. Like, that's not a problem. Like, I love for people to be aware of what they're capable of or what they want to do. Now, that gets me in a lot of trouble because I can say no. And people are like, no.
And I've had that happen. Okay, well, I guess I better do it.
Yeah. And they're like, no, what do you mean no? And I'm like, well, no, I mean, what? Do you have something else? Like, so I think that means a lot to me, because I recognize people when we try to establish a perimeter to protect how comfortable we are and our safety. And you don't get up until noon, and 3 o'clock is great. So I was like, shit, I'm flexible, whatever, 3 o'clock.
But don't get me wrong, if that was the call time, then I would be for it. But I've always been taught is that all they could do is say no. So
that's right.
And if they say no, okay, well, we got to go that route.
Yeah, then we go that route. That's right. So, but I truly respect that, because it took me a long time to be able to say no, because I felt like I had to please people to do what they wanted when they wanted. And then I realized, fuck it.
I'm still struggling with that, because that kind of goes back to wanting to help everybody. I'm such an empathetic person. And so I see the good in everybody, even though you might see them as a spoiled milk. So it's kind of like you have to prove that and show that to me. And sometimes when you show it, it's so dynamic and so fierce that when the time comes and it's shown, then it's like, oh, I should have listened. But that's something that I'm still kind of struggling with, is boundaries. And because I try to be graceful and say, well, maybe not. But then you got people that'll push.
They're going to push you. They want what they want. They're going to take it. And I've noticed that about you. And even in like conversations on social media and posts, you'll be like trying, like riding the fence. And I'm like, girl, fuck them.
And you know what's so crazy about that? Because I know myself, and I think that it's, like I said, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse. And it's kind of come with growth, because Denee from California, from Oakland, California, is like,
Cali girl.
fuck everybody. But now as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, let me try to see it from their perspective and see where they're coming from and have a better understanding, because maybe it's something in their childhood and the way I'll take all that in a comment.
Girl, oh my God. I'm just like that. I don't know. I don't like it. Like it's really, I think that's so funny, but I see you kind of wavering and I'm like, girl, fuck that. That's stupid.
Another thing I've learned is that text has tone. So the way you type it and what you say may come across a different way. And I'm not trying to get cussed out and have to go there. So I try to be kind of level, but it comes out every now and then. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay, there she is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's definitely appreciated because you do pay attention to people and what they're saying, what they're trying to say. And I mean, that's one of the things I love about you. I love your energy. I love that you go all in. I love that you're going to make it happen. And I told when I found out I was going to be the featured author in California, in San Diego, I was like, I'm getting with Denee because we finna set this shit off. Like, he was like, well, what is she going to do? I'm like, I don't know. You know, he was like, but what kind of work I don't know. But she is all of that. I'm getting with Denee. And that's what I believe. Like, I want to work with you on projects because you aren't afraid. You go all in. Like, you literally like, oh, there's a fire. Let me jump in it.
And I just had this conversation earlier this week, is that not to say that's you, but I tend to always gravitate to the underdog.
Yeah.
And so those are the people, or the person that I want to see make it, because I see it in you. And it's like everybody is laughing at you and, you know, clowning at you. Like, let's do this shit. We're going to figure out something.
Yeah, I'll even take it. Look, please see me as the underdog. Because I don't care if people.
No, you just carry greatness. So I truly support you in everything that you do. You can make dog food kernels. I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do? I know nothing about it, but what do I need to do?
What we finna do? I'm going to tell you, this is the truth, is I'm learning. Because like I said, I've been working since I was 13. And the past 3 years is the only time that I've had my own business, trying to create something on my own. And I've been fearful of asking people for money to pay. I had a client and they wanted me to do a service. And when I calculated what it would cost and I saw the cost for myself, I said, oh my God, this is too much. And I start thinking of how could I reduce it? But the one thing that's true is that your time, your experience, your effort, you can't undercut those things.
And a lot of people ask me, why do I do the things that I do and not put a price tag on it? And it's hard for me because I would love to see that the same, but I can appreciate and respect the people that, and I think for me, because I have had, I've had a PR and I've had people work and so-called manage for me, and it's been a flop, and I've invested the money. And I think that's kind of my rebellious part in that, and trying to help people, because, but you get a knack and you get to learn people who are genuine, and you see, okay, I'm gonna put my money into her.
Yeah. And when I sent the invoice, I was already in my mind saying they're going to go with somebody else. I sent the invoice. They sent me a cash transfer for the complete invoice.
Awesome.
And I was like, bitch.
That is awesome. I'm sure it was such a high.
It was because I'm learning, and that tells me that somebody outside of me sees value too. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I see. When you started planning the trip with Cabo, I said, we're going to do our first annual Cabo trip. We're going to do a yearbook. And I'll do the yearbook, sign it. We're all going to be a part of this experience. And this is what we're going to do. We had already even started talking about the trip the year after. We were so held.
Yeah, we're supposed to be going to Brazil.
Yes.
Actually, for my birthday.
Yes. We had already started looking beyond. And that's the power of amazing women, that you're in the moment, but you can see the next moment.
And that's where I know I can't fail, because I have you guys. I don't. Some of the women I've not even met yet,
Yeah.
but the feeling that I get in our conversations and their transparency and opening up, I'm like, I cannot fail, because if what I don't know, she know, and if we'll figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out. Yeah. I'm a business bully. I'm a small business bully. I sent a message to one of our group members today who's starting a business, but she's got a lot going on. I was like, hey, I'm gonna set up a 1-page website for you. You good with that? She was like, oh my God, please. She was like, please. I was like, hey, I got this date and this date available for an interview. Which one you want? She was like, oh my God, thank you. Like, so I think it requires somebody to understand that they just need somebody to come along and say, you're amazing. Let's make this shit happen. And you do that. You do it with yourself, with other people. I love that.
Yeah, and that's, again, kind of what I try to show, so that you can see, and you might see where I hit a campaign and you're like, what the hell is she doing? What is that? And I expect y'all to come at me and say that.
Yeah.
You know, and then on the other hand is like, okay, you might say, well, I won't do that, because that makes absolutely no sense, versus something that is done great and we share it and talk about it, and you're like, well, what app did you use? You know, like I'm asking you, what are you using to do that? You're doing great graphics. I want to learn, and I'll sit up all night till I figure it out.
You even said about one, I made a graphic about something and you were like, oh my God, you guys have the best graphics. That's awesome. And I was like, she thinks my shit is awesome.
It is.
She thinks my stuff is awesome. Like, she is bomb.
And you see, I didn't even know. I was just like, whoever is doing this is bomb.
And I was like, what? Her stuff is bomb.
Girl, I am trial and error. I'll find an app, do the free trial 7 days, see how it works, and okay, I'll use this one.
That's me. I'm like, I'm getting more confident now that I go and I do something and I go back and look at stuff and I'm like, oh, now I know how to do this, and I try to revamp it a little bit. But everything is a learning process, and there's so much information available.
And that's the thing, you can't be scared to learn. And there's so many, and you know, I can't help anybody that makes the excuse, because there are so many damn resources.
Oh,
how can you click on anything to find it? Even your quotes, you don't even have to be your own quotes to get your engagement and your audience have something to talk about.
Yeah.
Like I have Tupac and Nipsey Hussle behind my head of quotes.
Yes.
I love them.
So let's you know what? Let's put something together. Let's do like a conference. And so let's do it we can look at a date post-COVID, like 2023. What would you see as an ideal workshop conference for women?
I think there's a lot of conferences and workshops to tell you what to do in established businesses, but I don't think there's enough to show you from the start and remove that fear. Because like you and I can have this conversation and talk and teach to it, but they're still gonna go home and close the laptop computer down and not think nothing past it come tomorrow. And I think like they pay for these courses, but we don't have a follow through.
Well, let me ask you this. What if we set up a conference, 10 or 20 stations, and from start to finish, from the time you come there, your idea and the time that you leave, it's in your hand.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like to hold them accountable through all the steps, tell you what you need to do, and then let you go, because you're probably not going to do it.
Right.
No, I need you to show up next week. We're going to talk about where are you now.
Yeah.
Now I just told you last week. This is where you're supposed to be this week. Come on. Yeah. Let's get back.
I think a lot of times people have a hard time. I think people have a hard time with that because they have an idea, they get, and they're excited about it. They have a conversation and they go home with homework. And no one has a respect for homework anymore. Life gets in the way of homework. Like, I'll get to it. Not understanding that the idea that you're having is an idea that furthers the greatness of the universe. It's not just a fluke. There's a reason you're having it. There's a something behind it.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, like the follow through and following up, and then it's another thing is too is when it's with somebody that you're comfortable with. So now we have this group of ladies that we've been talking to and opening up to for almost 2 years now. So I feel like if we even just grab them, and then they know, just like when I do the girls' night in, like we have women that bring other women because of their experience, and so that's how you become comfortable and willing to do the work, because this is somebody that your sister knows and has worked with. So I think that's a great thing too.
Right. And you have to develop that trust that I'm not going to steal your idea, because you're kind of like, I have my own ideas. I'm not stealing your shit. I don't want it. What I want to happen is for you to get to a place of self-efficacy that you can fly with that shit. Like, I'm just trying to get you to believe it yourself. I don't want your idea.
And what happens to me, sometimes I get so involved that I put my own shit on the back burner. Yeah. Like, there's so much stuff that I have going now, but I want to help and take care. Well, not take care, but help someone else see them through. Because, for example, I have a friend, and that I've met as a friend, that is going through the trenches now of their stardom. And I see them getting there, and I know from my experiences, so I'm in their ear, like, you need an image consultant or somebody to switch up your image just a little bit. Never change who you are. But I know from my experience, I worked with a celebrity that I know did this, and look where he is now, blah, blah, blah. So, but I've been like pouring into them. I'm like, but your ass is sitting in the bed, in your bathrobe, talking about somebody's image. So it kind of makes put me together too.
Yeah. But it makes you understand that I'm more invested in this moment than you are. Like, I'm more invested in you being great than you are. And so sometimes we have to kind of step out of those moments, because we put so much and we're like, fly. And they're like, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. And then you have the people that are like, what is it in it for you? Like, why are you saying this? Why are you telling me so much? Why are you trying to help me? What do you want out of it?
Nothing. I'm just giving. That's me, like, all the time. I'm literally like, somebody tells me an idea and I roll into da 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 da. I even have a guy who's opening a restaurant. He's got like he's been holding on to this idea for years. He and I start talking, and now he's ready to put it into action. And he's like, man, you are the bomb. And I'm like, just do something. Like, people are genuinely afraid of moving, right? People are afraid.
And I've been there, and I still have that challenges in some of the things, because there's a lot that I don't know, and it's like, why would you think to do this? And it's something. Sorry, there's a sneeze. You know how you have that sneeze and it won't come.
Yeah. Mine is usually a burp. After
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm so crass. You know that.
Right. I love it and appreciate it. That is the one biggest thing that I love. I'm like, no filters with Joy. Like, she's live.
I don't even know what to filter. That's my problem. I'm like, oh, what, I wasn't supposed to say that?
Oops, my bad. But that's grown woman. That's a grown woman right there. No filter, give it to you straight up, no chase. And most people, I should say, can appreciate that.
You're right. Most people. Yeah. So I have to figure out what is it that we can work on together, because I feel like you're always on some great shit. Man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Dude, you are. And your energy, you just like, I'm finna turn up.
Well, the funny thing is, with my nickname, a lot of people think Giddy is my last name. Giddy is actually my childhood, pretty much my birth nickname that my uncle gave to me, because even as a baby, I always smiled and I always laughed.
Giddy. You're always giddy. I love that.
And my daddy calls me that to this day. Is only if I'm in trouble will he say Denee. And if he says Denee, then I'm like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
He's called me my whole life. And that's why I just have that spirit in me. And I try, like I said, I try to see the good in everything. And I'm just like the silver lining person. Like right now, I'm sitting in my living room. My bedroom has ceiling leaks from the last storms that I have been fighting since November, right? But I'm sitting here dressed to the nines and
let me see, stand up. Let me see.
But I'm like, silver lining is I have my space, I have my sofa, I have my TV.
Can you stand up? You got on pants? Let me see what you got on.
I'm going to dress.
Ooh, that's cute.
This is actually one of my Cabo dresses.
Is it? Dude, listen, I'm such a conservative spirit.
Cabo, my God.
I'm so conservative. When I was buying for Cabo, I was buying like, I'm just, that's my personality. You posted something that had like fringes and sequins. And I was like, we going to different Cabos.
But you know, a lot of stuff I joke about, like when I say, I'm going to wear this to Ace Hardware. Like
I believe you. I believe you. I need some nails. I need somebody to nail me to the cross.
But that's another, and I don't know if you know this, but back in California, I used to own a consignment store.
Right. I've seen like different like posts and stuff on your Facebook profile about it.
Okay. So that was like my knack for fashion. Like my dad, even though he was a dad, he was still a girl dad. So he would look in magazines and stuff. And he kind of overdressed me based on what he saw, because he saw that's what women or young ladies were wearing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So
he's a good guy.
Huh? Yeah.
He's a good guy.
He is. Love my dad. Oh my gosh. I could talk about him all day.
Oh my God. You gotta I'm have to interview the two of you together.
And he, like me, has the same giddy spirit, and he's a clown. He is a clown. Like our family gatherings, he's that uncle that we look to. And all my girlfriends back at home call him Uncle Dad.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, so he's amazing, amazing guy. But he's night and day with his children.
Yeah.
He'll go from one extreme, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Which is another reason everybody didn't get to go home in California, because it would have been a whole nother,
Smart girl.
But anyway, I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about the outfit for Cabo. That's a cute.
Oh, yes. So going back into that, my niche for fashion is I love mixing and matching, because I can ball on a budget. Like I got this from Fashion Nova, but I might have on Prada heels, like, and I'll have on a Target purse. Like I'm not like a brand whore. I like what I like, and I'll put it together. And I'm risky with it with some things. Like I'll wear some of everything. Like you saw the glitter thing that I think, but I'll put that on with a jean jacket.
But for me, the funny thing is, for me, I never pay really much attention to people's clothes as far as labels and stuff. But you've got like this $1 million smile and this energy that's like, it doesn't, you could show up naked.
I would be like, girl, COVID calories.
COVID got victims everywhere.
Oh my God. This is the heaviest I've been in my entire life. And I don't know how the hell. And I got 6 months to shed some of it.
I'm like, oh my God, I need to lose weight. Let me drive through McDonald's on the way home.
And I was just saying last night that, I think I made a post actually. I'm like, I want to be, thin and trim, but shit, y'all just built a Popeyes on the corner. Like, I mean, in a college town, there is nothing but junk here.
Oh my, I believe it. I believe it.
We don't have a Trader Joe's. We don't have nothing healthy.
No Whole Foods.
No Whole Foods. Amazon, you know how you could buy on Amazon from the groceries? They won't even deliver here. Like Whole Foods.
Well, Next up for me at the end of March, I started doing a golf tournament for my Faceless Love. I call him that, but everybody's met him.
Yeah, we know who he is.
I know. But I still call him that because you know what's funny? He's become his own brand.
And he's an Aquarius too, I just found out.
Hashtag Faceless Love. People look for me to talk about him. So he's his own thing. So it's kind of like, do I reveal him or do I keep him a secret? Because people who aren't connected to me love him. They love the idea. I even have men who will comment and say, I love that shit.
Wow.
So so now that's another brand. I don't know what to do with him. But anyway, for you, this is where this comes in. At the end of March, I do a golf tournament for him and his buddies. It's just him and his buddies, but I've made it a whole golf tournament. Illustrious Country Club with all the bells and whistles.
Oh.
It's in Atlanta, and they have a great time. But now it's gone from like 1 foursome to 4 foursomes. It's growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk to you about it because I think that having your ideas and seeing it outside of a love space, that you can see how to make it something else, because I've thought about tying it to a scholarship fund.
Oh,
like
wow.
if people are coming, so I'm thinking, but I'm emotionally connected to it. So I want to talk to you about it outside so that you can kind of tell me what you think and even come up and hang out with us for a weekend in Atlanta, just at this golf tournament.
And she's single, yeah. Count me in.
Good-looking men that like to play golf. Yeah.
I've had a few golf trips.
Yeah. So, and it's amazing that when you get comfortable with what you're saying and who you are, when you say something, people believe in that shit. They don't even question it.
Well, I felt like, and that kind of goes back to the shine time. I felt like in our other group, I was so much, I posted and said things and I interact with people, but I still felt so much in the dark because I would be at a full-fledged event party with all of you guys and still kind of be quiet. Mm-hmm. And alcohol kind of let me loose a little bit, but I still was not me because
you were managing the events and the people and making sure that everybody was happy.
Well, not even that. What I was tied to didn't allow me to be really me. So I couldn't really let loose, and I couldn't let down my hair and be couldn't. Now that's like when we do go to Cabo, you'll see. I mean, you've seen and know me now, but when we get to Cabo, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is how she travels. And it's all good fun, but I love having a great time.
Right.
And and that's like why I planned some of the, like even for the birthday party that I have coming up, I am so excited about it.
I can't wait. Listen, I was
gonna allow everybody to be stupid, goofy, crazy in some of the games.
Hold on, V won't be here for his birthday because it's Super Bowl weekend. So
and that's my you can understand. That is my dilemma every year.
Listen, so
last year Super Bowl was on my birthday.
I could have been in Houston for the birthday party. So today I was looking at flights to Houston. I'm still looking because it's like,
my God, if you could make it, it would be awesome.
Dude, I was still looking because I was like, it's gonna be so freaking off the chain because she spares no expense. She's gonna have a good time. I'm looking.
Yeah, and honestly, it wasn't really an expense because everybody's at home, so I don't really do much. But
somebody is coming though. Chiffon is coming, right?
Chiffon is coming, and then I have Stacy is coming, but she's coming for She's coming for another party, but she will be in the house, to come and visit. And then Cameron is coming. Yes, all this time we finally get to meet. I've never met her.
Dude, oh my gosh, she's such a good one.
We're almost neighbors. Like she's the only one that I know that is.
She's such a sweet little energy too. It's so many good women. Like we have so many good women in our groups. Like, wow. Yeah.
And that's another thing that I appreciate so much is I build relationships and I consider true friendships with like you and sisterhood with you. And it's like, I don't even have to talk to you every day, but I know if I pick up the phone or pick up a chat,
Yep.
Be there.
Yep. That's me. That's me. So I've had to kind of adjust my thinking of what 3D land looks like. That's what I call real life. And 3D land is real life. And then social media, because I feel like I make these genuine connections and I believe in them. I do.
I get criticized for it, but I do. Like even in the other group, it was like, those aren't your real friends. They just know you on, so they don't really care about you. And they don't.
I put myself out there. I believe it. I believe when I meet people on social media and we have conversations and exchanges, I believe in that. Like that's real to me.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I don't know how not to. I'm like, oh my God, this is my friend. And they're like, what?
Your friend? You don't even know that's you never, but I've connected with them. I don't care what.
Dude, I literally believe in it. Like I do. So to me, that's so funny, but it's the truth.
Yeah. So. And I think that kind of, for me, I think that kind of comes from like going back to my childhood, not having my mom and not having that nurturing. That's what I find in friendship.
Yeah.
You know, and in my younger years, I used to gravitate to older people, older women. And then I had mostly boyfriends because growing up for me, I dealt with a lot of jealousy and being a fair color and
you so pretty
hair and being
you thought you was better than everybody. You was pretty.
I'm just the silliest person. And like people who knew me in school, like all my classmates that are still my Facebook friends, know. Yeah. That I was pretty, and even in school, like our talent show, I was the one that tried to bring everybody together to do We Are the World.
Absolutely, we were.
I had Michael Jackson, my Stevie Wonder. I'm like, we are gonna do this. They're like
whatever.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that stood out to me as an adult about high school is that one of my classmates said something like, we were at a reunion or something. They were like, "You've always been so green," and I was like, what do you mean? Yeah, yes. They call me green. And I'm like, what do you mean? I think it's because I'm really airy and I'm very literal about things. So when people do stuff,
you gotta think it out and plan it out.
Yeah. But I don't judge people. And if you be like, hey, we're gonna go such and such, I'll be like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, green. That's not the joy I know.
But that's because as an adult, but as young, they would always feel the need to protect me because I wasn't necessarily street. So now when I go home, they be like, there she go, snitch.
And that is so funny because I've turned the opposite. From the street smart, like, and that's why, like, people that are at home and people that see me now, they're like, who is this girl? Like, what?
I'll be like, it's not snitching if you're helping someone stay safe.
Oh, yeah. See, no. No. Not where I come from. And see, I come from, Oakland is such a small town. It's like, if you do, they're going to know. So, yeah. No, you got to stay clear.
Dude, I just think it's so funny because I'm truly okay with the person that I am. And so when stuff happens, I just be like, so I teach at an alternative school for my insurance and regular money. I teach at an alternative school. So I deal with
I do have a part-time job. We talked about that. I said, don't get it twisted. I have a part-time job. I'm jack of all trades.
Yeah. So the kids would be like thinking they coming at me and I'd be like, come on if you want to. So I'm not necessarily, I think it's just because I'm not easy. I'm firm. I don't put myself in awkward positions. People think I don't know the streets. I just know how to keep myself safe. I'm not going down with y'all some bullshit. It's got to be. I'm not going down for $8,000. Now $8 million, hook me up. I'm not doing shit for $8,000. 800,000, maybe. 8 million, I'm in that bitch. What we finna do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that's the problem. That's the thing that people who can't see beyond where they are don't understand like the level of corporate espionage that I am.
Yeah, they used to call me a corporate thug.
Yeah, that's it.
Like I showed up when I was talking about my mentor. I showed up, and she was like, and that was the thing too about her. She was straight up no change. Like, we're Facebook friends today, and she's still the same way. But it reminds me of a time I had went out and was out all night till like 5 the next morning and had a meeting. She called me out and she was like, "You have on blue eyeshadow and a red top. Like, so what happened?" I'm like this.
One eye.
She called me out and she was like, you're gonna have to get your rest, girl, showing up to a meeting.
Yeah.
Like, we laugh about it. But yeah, I've come a long way.
Yeah, I think we all have. And the funny thing with you telling that story is my mentor that I have, her name is Lynn. She's on my Facebook. I went to work drunk as hell. Like I had been partying all night on a Saturday night. I went to work on Sunday. I was so sick drunk that I was standing there working and I started gagging like I was gonna throw up. All she did, look, she pulled out a trash can and put under me for me to throw up. I threw up in the trash can. She put that shit back and kept going like nothing happened.
Like your ass keep working. Dang. And that's another thing, speaking of drunk, is that my tolerance, I don't know where I'm at now, because since I've been in Texas, I get, I go through my wine.
Yeah.
But I was in New Orleans every weekend. And that's where the late sleeping came from.
Does wine count? Does wine count though? That's
what I'm saying. I don't know. So now when I go to drink, like next weekend for the party, I might be laid out in an hour. Because I have vodka I have vodka, Ciroc, and Tito's that I have had at least 6 months. Like I'm not going through the bottle. Mm-hmm. And that's not normal. Like I normally don't really drink at home, but we've been stuck at home. Yeah. So, and I'm used to like every Friday we was drive-through daiquiris with an extra shot. Oh, yeah. The same thing Saturday. So
I can see you in New Orleans. I literally can see New Orleans being your shit.
The crazy thing is, I could consider, like, I could call that home. Like I love the culture.
I can see that about you.
The people there. The only thing I didn't like was coming from California. It's very dark. Like the buildings are all dark brown and gray, like light and water. Yeah. Like California has. So that was kind of, but because of vibrancy and the people, and that's to eliminate some of the heat. So the darkness, they're not absorbing the heat. Yeah, like one of the girls I used to work with, I used to be like, it's hot as hell, but it's no sun. Like, what the hell? Yeah. I can't even get a tan. You know, but it's 9,000 degrees. Yeah. Like I step outside and that's the other thing in Texas kind of has that New Orleans weather too. But we have the sun, but it's so hot with the sun that I'm not stepping outside. So I'm like, I am pale as hell right now. Like I have to give my true color.
I'm going to share. This is my confession on today. The first day that I went without anything to drink, wine, liquor, nothing to drink, was Thursday. Since before the pandemic.
Like literally nothing?
Nothing.
So every single day you have something?
Every day. And every day I've had a drink since, and the reason I did it is because I couldn't remember the last time I went without a drink. The pandemic did me in. Like the pandemic is like, bitch, you my hostage. Like literally.
And that was the thing with me, Joy. Now, like we were talking about, I came out here for isolation and for healing. And then this motherfucker shut down. Yeah. I was like, wait. I want to come out now. Let me out. I've done it. Yeah. I've sat down. I've done my healing.
Dude,
And
I
it's
just,
like, no, stay down a little bit longer.
yeah. And so Thursday, I was driving home Thursday, like I could stop by the liquor store and get something. And I was like, you know what? If you can't make it through the night, bitch, you in trouble.
See, I get mine delivered. So when
So I got home, I did my regular stuff, whatever. It was like 7:30, and I started watching a new series on Hulu called True Life about this prisoner that became an attorney. It was really good.
oh, the true story. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I started watching that, and I just was like, okay, I watched a couple episodes, and I was like, okay, I'm sleepy. I'm going to go to sleep. If I wake up before midnight, I'm going to go to the store and get me a beer or something. But I didn't. I slept all night. And I was like, bitch, you made it. So Friday, I bought some tequila on my way home.
So did you give yourself a goal? Was it just the goal for the one night?
It just happened upon me. It wasn't necessarily a goal. I was just like, am I alcoholic or not? Like, I just needed
Oh my God.
So I was okay.
Being an alcoholic.
You can't? Well, I do. I was worried. Because the pandemic did something extra to me. Like, I'm in Lakeland, Florida.
Which I've never heard of until you.
Well, let me tell you where it is. It's next door to the winter strawberry capital of the United States. So strawberry season is right now. So like it took me a year to see a Black person at a bar. I was like, what is a Black woman supposed to do if she's trying to get some around here? Like, ain't no Black men around here?
Well, you heard and seen my dilemma and what I'm working with.
What the?
I show y'all this here.
It was like a whole year. I went in somewhere with some Black men in there, and I was like, can I please just stand with you guys? I haven't seen any Black men.
Yeah, and see, for me, the only Blacks out here are really students. I'm like, okay, I can't go that route. Can't go to jail.
No, don't go to jail. What are professors at?
And if they are, they don't live. I don't think they live here. And then it's like one or the other. You got the kids or you got retirees, and they're like on the Bush type of retirees. You see what I'm showing you guys? What's happening?
Girl, those pictures are hilarious.
A full red mustache and goatee. Like, come on.
Dude, listen, when I tell you that shit was so funny to me, the guy in the penguin suit or the bear suit.
He was in a lion suit. I'm like, I am being punished. COVID can't find me.
COVID ain't taking no prisoners. COVID is like, if Joycelyn ain't never set her ass down, this is it.
Yeah, and then we talked about, in our family group about my most recent experience. That was some craziness.
COVID ain't playing no games with us vibrant sexual women. COVID's like, sit down.
All the way down.
Yeah.
So my confession is New Year's Day of this year.
Do we want to do this on air?
I'll talk about it. I don't care. I mean, I'm kind of glad to say I'm born here. It has been 2 years. It has been 2 years.
Wow. It's been girl, listen, I hope somebody watch this because your shit finna blow up. It's gonna be flights in the Houston hobby like nobody's business.
Well, see, the thing is too, is that I've kind of like got back into touch of who I am and what I want and what I expect. So I'm being very picky, very selective. And it's like the first little red, I'm not taking
no, none of it. I don't blame you. I literally don't blame you. Like but that's the thing that we have to get to that place when we understand that when people show you some crazy, believe it.
Yeah.
Believe it.
So yeah, it's a whole different, I feel kind of you know, I'm older. Like I'm flirting. I'll be flirting with 50 next week. So like, yeah, I'm halfway to 100 damn near. So I'm not wasting no time. Like,
yeah.
you show me anything like what I came to y'all and asked y'all about, you show me that, yeah, it's
over. Don't even give me an explanation. I already see what it is. And I'm wise enough to interpret it. I've been dating Faceless Love for like 4 years. He said some shit that made me think he lied to me, and I was like, nigga, fuck you. And I'm talking 4 years. And this was a couple of days ago. I was like, I'm done.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm literally like, I'm not playing. He was like, I didn't lie to you. Then he started sending me screenshot receipts. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I'm so over the crap. Like, I'm so over the crap. Like,
yeah. And then, like I said, in my situation where I came from, and not to say too much, but in a situation like where that I had been in my past, is one I had never experienced. So I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know. Well, I can't say I didn't know the red flags, but I didn't know how to handle or to remove myself literally and physically from a situation where I did, but kept going back, kept going back.
Yeah.
And so now in part of my healing and learning and reading about that type of behavior that I was dealing with, now, like, I look at Trump and I get triggered.
Oh, absolutely. Because they're probably close. They're probably close in birthday. My ex-husband was right there with him. Like, dude.
Yeah, I laugh about it now. You know, I'll say in the group, I'm triggered. But yeah, yeah. Look, I can't even say the words out.
But here's the thing. The thing is this: is that we see men and we can see the greatness in them, but because they're so caught up in the moment, they don't understand that we see beyond what they see, and they're trying to play us. But because we love them and we want to be with them, we reduce ourselves to try to accommodate. And then you get beyond it and you be like, you nothing ass. Like, I wasted my time with you. Like, I was trying to show, I could have taken you to the 6, 7 figures and you comfortable with 5.
Yeah, and I was such a negotiator that I saw some of the things that I felt like, you know, therapy or speaking with other men maybe even could have helped. And that, and coming from, you know, their background and some of the things that I knew about, but they didn't really talk about. And so when I questioned or asked or even suggested, it was like an insult to them.
Oh yeah, because they couldn't understand how you could see beyond
like, how could you say you know, you probably got daddy issues. I'm like, really?
No,
not at all.
And then you wake up in 10 years, listen, my ex-husband we've been divorced for let me see, my son is 17. So we've been divorced about 14, 15 years. He's literally in the same financial space that I left him all those years ago.
Wow.
So there's no growth beyond it because they're stuck there. Now, he is in the financial space because I put him there. My efforts put him in that space. He doesn't know how to go beyond it.
Wow.
And I'm serious. And so one of the things now, I have a friend who has a business, and she told me, she's like, I'm looking for a financial supporter. I can give them a % of the business. I can, whatever they want, but I'm just trying to get my business off the ground. So I was trying to figure it out. And I was telling Faceless Love about it, right? I was telling him about it. And he was like, well, it's your friend, it's such and such. And I'm like, yeah, you know, he was like, hold on, stop. Send her my information. She can come to me. I'll give her the financial backing. You can provide what she needs, but I need for her to be your friend and remove that emotional space.
That's awesome.
That's a man who sees the greatness in, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because he was like, no, he's like, that's your girl. You love her. Y'all been, no, we ain't gonna let this emotionally turn into some bullshit. Send her to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the type of partnership, companionship that is so needed.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, are you serious? He was like, and so he's
and it can be so easy.
Yeah. And he's been communicating with her, setting her shit up. The shit I can do, he's sending that shit to me. This needs to happen for this company. This needs to happen for this company. And that's it. I'm like, bet.
Yeah. And that's me too. Like if I see my partner is driven and they're trying, like I said, I'll even go for the underdog. So you can imagine what I'm gonna put forth for somebody that's actually in to win it.
Yeah.
Like I'm all in.
I'm all in. I'm all in. And
look, on an apron, what do I need to do?
Look, and that is why I have a whole damn golf tournament for him and his friends. Oh wait, so somebody says, I'm looking at the comments. Somebody says, where is the trip? When is the trip? Chiffon said, hey. Joe said, am I still caddying?
Get out of here, Joe.
I think, it's Margot. Margot Williams is a author out of California. She's asking about the trip.
Well, it's a trip that has been postponed from 2020 August. What was the last week of August? That is now, we're praying and hoping for August of the end of August of this year.
Yeah.
All the slots are full at this point.
Wait, you haven't lost anybody?
Well, I lost and then I added.
Oh, that's awesome.
I had a waiting list.
Dude, that's so awesome. Do you understand how awesome that is?
Yes. Like I'm telling you, I cried. I literally cried. Like I was like, I cannot, like I really thought it was gonna be like 3 or 4 people. Honestly.
Dude. I
was like, even I don't care. I want to, I'm used to traveling. So I'm like, I don't care how many people go, we're going. And then when they kept coming in and in, I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I can do this? And I'm like, okay, you got this.
Dude, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Yeah, if I extend anymore, I would have to have a 3rd villa.
Yeah.
And I'm scared to do that because I'm in contract for the 2 that we have.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do and then I'll be stuck again.
Well, let me tell you what's so funny. So I told Faceless Love that I was coming down early to help with setup and all that stuff. So he was like, well, we should go down Sunday.
The Sunday before?
Before.
No, loud. Joe,
we go down on Sunday, we hang out, you set up, and then I'll leave. He want to be wherever I am. Like literally, that's his shit. He just really want to be.
That Cabo is, because you've never been, right?
Never.
Yeah, you will love it. It's modernized part, of Mexico, but it's beautiful. It is so beautiful, and which is one of the reasons I wanted to go back with you guys. And then the villas that we have, oh my God.
Amazing.
Oh my God. I'm like, I cannot wait. I am so excited. I'm like, Real Housewives, no. GlowGetters, honey. We are like
GlowGetters. That's what. And listen, so let's look at this. So I talk about being a glow-getter. Like that's a big thing for me. I talk about being a glow-getter. So I think that maybe while we're there, we film our own series of glow-getters in Cabo, and we can stream it on my Twitch, on my network. We can stream it.
I am all for it. I would love to. I would love to. I mean, the yearbook already was over the top for me. I'm like, yes. What do I need to do? Yeah, heck yeah, Joy. Yes.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Get your picture in. Come on,
dude. If we could do things there and stream it over I have a Twitch that I stream over and it shows up on my websites. So we can do that. If we we can do that, that'll be so much fun.
And then the thing is, like, Cabo is following, they have an Instagram page. They're following me.
Absolutely.
They're following me. And then, you know, when I make mentions and I tag them, they respond back. I'm like, okay, yes. Because I don't feel like, I mean, I'm sure there's like wedding parties and big parties that come out and that many, but I'm like 35. Well, now we're 30.
We're going to have fun.
Women, and oh my God. Yeah.
Girl, Joe just sent me a message and said, tell V we going.
No, how about no? No.
Chiffon.
And I took, and that was the other thing that was such a blessing with having a Foodie Kind of Love on board, with having our food. I'm like, oh, girl, yes.
I'm interviewing a Foodie Kind of Love. I'm interviewing a Foodie Kind of Love on March 27th.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Yeah, so I'm interviewing, and I'm going to do it live. So I have something I want her to do for me on that date, and I want to interview her while she's doing it. She doesn't know yet. Maybe, I mean, she's just watching it.
And I love supporting and promoting her. Like, I won't do anything that, you know, I will have to almost be forced to not have her services. Because one, I love her food, and I just love working with her. And she's another one that's a chaser. And it's like, I could work with that. I love that. And I am so excited that, you know, she's coming and will be handling that.
Yeah.
And
she's so sweet. Like she said, I mean, it's really like, you know, the women that are just like, damn, these are the women, like, you understand the crux of the women that you say, we're moving together. And she's one of those women because she's
case in point, you see, not all of them didn't come. Yeah, picked and selected, and there are still those that have tried to come because it's like, it's not, I can't say that I don't like you, but it's your energy and what you bring.
Yeah.
I turned down certain women for our Cabo trip because I'm like, whole weekend?
Because you already know.
I'm sorry, I don't care how much, I don't care if you could pay for it all right now. I don't care.
Yeah, you're just like, just because it already feels bad before you even start.
Yes.
Hey there, Stephanie. Somebody else just chimed in. So Chiffon told Joe no boys. And then Chiffon says she's
going to put her in a suitcase before we let a boy come.
Chiffon said that she's going to try for the 2022 trip. So Chiffon.
Yes, it's certainly, well, as you see, our goal was to at least have one big trip annually and then some little things in between. Like, we were going to LA, we were doing New Orleans, we were doing that all white party. It was, they just shut us all the way down. But we'll be back up and doing stuff. I cannot wait. And especially Girls Night In. I've gone a whole year now without it.
Well, I got a person, STM Specialties. Send me the logo for the Cabo trip. I'm going to have her make us some, our cups with our name on it.
You know, I love things. I love things. It could be a straw.
Yeah. Well, and look, when she sent this to me, she sent it with straws.
Oh my! No, I'm saying it could be as simple as.
Oh.
Like, I love things.
So she sponsors my Facebook post of the week. So if you send me the logo for our Cabo trip, I'll have her make us all these our own cups with our names on it. Isn't that adorable?
Yes. I love your logo too.
Yeah, it's so. I just be trying to have fun.
That is so cute.
So it's 4:30. Our interview was supposed to last for 30 minutes.
Well, that's what happens when I'm like stuck in, like, even when I've had the Girls Night In Zoom, I'm like, okay, we'll do an hour. I'm like, it is almost 5 o'clock in the morning. We gotta go.
But I think that's
I love y'all. Like, it's so free.
That's the goodness.
Comfortable.
It's the goodness of people, and it's recognizing that you're safe. And I feel that way with you. And it's just, we have so much. Dude, we got stuff to do. We're like, literally, we got so much to do.
Yeah, and I love the group that you all have formed together. That's another breath of fresh air. And I felt I was so conflicted when I brought over the women's group, and I'm like, but there are some cool dudes too, like I call brothers.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that and I saw who was there in it, I'm like, yes.
Let me tell you what happened. So at the beginning of the pandemic, we started doing a Zoom call, and it was really consistently 8 people on the call. No, 10 people. It was 10 people consistently on the call. And we showed up Saturday night like it was Bible choir practice. We were there. And so after we'd done that for several months, like 6-7 months, we were like, do y'all want to start a group? Like just us? Like, and that's what it was, because it was like, so in the group, so a couple of the admin would show up, but it wasn't important to them. But in the pandemic and not being connected to people, it was important to us.
Yes, absolutely.
So we started talking about it, and a couple of the people were like, oh, well, my plate is too full, I can't admin. And they were like, but I still want to be in. If y'all do it, I'm in it. And then we were just like, what is gonna hurt? If it's just
the philanthropy that you guys did over the holidays, like I'm all for that.
Yeah. And that's where we are. Like literally that's where we are. It was just us trying to figure out how to hold on to the goodness of those who helped us get through the pandemic. Like, because the pandemic was hard. And we just started a group, and we wanted it to feel like family and to be family. We ain't talking about hooking up.
I always be like, that's my cousin. Get that post out of here. I ain't talking about who's sexy.
Yeah. And I've had my post deleted because it's crass as hell. Like it. And then I even today, I admitted somebody into the group. And one of the other admins sent a message and was like, who is this? Who admitted? I was like, well, let me delete them. So we're very protective over.
Yes,
the goodness is so good. The people are so good, and we got to keep them safe.
Yeah, and even the conversation that we had, and I felt so comfortable in talking to you guys and asking your opinion of that situation. I was like, these are my people. Like, yeah. I don't care about how anybody else feels or what they have to say, but I know that they're going to give it to me raw and uncut. And if I was in the wrong or what I did or said, they're going to tell me, or vice versa, or get the fuck on and go about your business. That ain't the one for you.
And guess what? And we're even in our words, we're still going to love you. It's not like you crazy. It's a move. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, it's such a good group of people, a good core. And it's only like 101 people.
Yeah. And the thing too, I was a little fearful because of what I came from to come into there. So that affiliation and that tie kind of worried me. Like, is that what they are going to see me as, and not as my own individual person, and who I am genuinely. And shut up, Joe.
You saw that? He said to my granny.
I love to hate him and Emmett. I love to hate them. I swear I do. But I will chat them and be like,
Chiffon wants one of the Steffi's with the GlowGetter logo. So if you could send me that, we can get her one order.
I am so for it. But yeah, I was fearful of that. So when I came in, I kind of tiptoed a little bit because I'm like, let me see who's, all here. Yeah. And but you guys brought me in just like any other time with open arms, and I feel like I'm at home with all my cousins and my brothers and my sisters.
Dude, and that's the thing about it. It's like it's not gonna be any evil mess in here. Like, and that's the thing that's so comfortable about it. And we actually had a person in the group that was on some evil mess, and they removed themselves. Like, they literally was like, okay, I'm not gonna be in the group no more. And we were like, okay, bye. Yeah.
Yeah. I get it, and I can understand. It's very good energy. It's a good and safe place to be, especially during these times of COVID. Us being stuck at home. I'm like, I can get on here and post something. We can laugh. We can have something. talk about?
My all-time favorite is that damn body video.
I'm like, I should delete that. My grand.
No, dude, I
I
call Faceless Love, and I call Faceless Love and was like, did you see Denee's video when she dancing to that damn body? He watched it and he said it's the old shit at the end for me.
So that's case in point. Transparency, you get it all.
I love it.
And I truly was. And I'm like, oh, shit, I'm dealing with sciatica. I should not have my life. I wanted to have y'all laughing and do the busted challenge, but I'm like, I don't have a life alert. Nobody can help me.
I want to do that silhouette challenge. That's sexy.
The crazy thing is, Joy, I've actually done that years ago.
Hey.
But I did it in black and white.
That shit is sexy to me.
It is. It actually inspired my wardrobe for the party next week. I'm doing the men's button up shirt and some fishnets, and that's it.
I feel I gotta dress up for the party. I'm dressing up.
You're gonna dress up? That's not dressing up though.
But I mean, that's dressing outside of my t-shirt and panties.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because that was the other thing. Remember the post I showed y'all? The top was all cute. Some big ass granny.
Look, that's dressing up for me.
Yeah, when you were like standing up, that's why I was like, let me wear a dress.
I love it. Okay, we got to wrap this up because we could talk all night. So this is Joycelyn Wells with mySHAPE Solutions, our Shape Spotlight. This is Denee Adams. She is an entrepreneur, glow getter, small business owner, big dreamer, big plans. This is who she is. And I'm looking forward to working with her in all capacities. So thank you, Denee, for joining us.
Thank you. It has been so much fun just being able to talk to somebody live. Golly. And thank you, everybody who has viewed and has your comments, all but Joe.
Oh, don't do that to the baby. I call Joe the baby.
I love you, Joe. We did it, Joe.
I call him the baby.
Damn brat.
He is a brat. He is literally a brat.
All right. Well, until next time.
Till next time. So I'll talk to you off camera about March because I'd love for you to come to Atlanta. It's going to be it'll be a great event. And I know you're looking for some travel opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. And it's cheap to get to you guys.
Yeah. And even the hotel is cheap too. So.
Well, I'm into Airbnbs. I haven't been in a hotel for almost 2 years.
The golf club is at the hotel, and it's going to be about the same. The golf club is at the hotel, and we're having a bourbon tasting on Friday night with dinner.
Oh my, bourbon!
It's going to be good. So bourbon tasting with dinner on Friday night, and then we'll have a mimosa and Bloody Mary bar Saturday morning before golf. And then I'm interviewing Chef September Archie.
That weekend,
11. That's going to be great.
Okay.
They're playing golf, and we can ride a couple of golf carts. So anyway, I'll talk to you off campus. Yeah, it'll be great. So anyway, thank you so much for giving me your time. I love you. I appreciate you. I respect you. I think you're an amazing woman, business owner. I just thank you.
I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And I won't try.
See you later.
Bye-bye.